Hello, this is Mike and Suzie,
Hello.
and it is now 1974. We're going backwards in time a little bit to another incident. I was living still out in that farm out in the country on Roble Road in Petaluma, and I was attending Rancho Cotati High School. I was a freshman at that school, and it was a Friday, and my friend at school asked if I wanted to spend the night on Friday night. So we went to his house, which was literally across the street from the high school, after school, and I called my mom, who hadn't gone to work yet, and asked if it was okay for me to spend the night, and she said, yeah, go ahead, and she was going to leave a note for my dad and let him know where I was, and she was off to work. So everything was fine. I stayed there and until 8:30 at nighttime, when another friend of his showed up, who wasn't crazy about me, didn't like me very much, and that's A-okay, I didn't really care. But his friend said to him, you need to get rid of Mike, get him out of here. I don't want to spend the night here. And he had more control than I did. And, I just didn't feel like getting to the argument. And so the guy that was supposed to be my friend, I asked, hey, can I use your phone to call my dad to pick me up? And he says, no, my dad won't let you use the phone here. You need to leave. I thought it was a bunch of bull. And, well, anyway, he says, you got to go, and you got to go now. So I did. I just split. Now, remember, there's no cell phones back then. I had no money in my pocket to use a payphone. There really wasn't any payphones around even if I had money. So I figured I was just going to walk the distance of almost 8 miles. It's 7.8 miles, so just about 8 miles from his house to where I lived on Roble Road. So I walked out on East Cotati Avenue, walked the distance of East Cotati Avenue until I reached the 101 freeway where it went under the freeway. So I passed under there, and then I hit West Sierra Avenue, which was pitch black little two-lane road in the middle of the country with absolutely nothing, no lights, no shoulder, no nothing. As I was walking this little two-lane road, cars were whizzing by, and they'd almost hit me every time they'd go by. And I kept walking and walking, and by then I'm about 4 miles away from where I'm supposed to be. So I'm getting exhausted and tired, and I think, oh man, I don't feel like I want to go anymore. I don't know if I can go anymore. And with that, as I get around the bend, there's a bend there where a gully is. I look off to my right, and I look out in the field, and it looks like a huge, gigantic harvest moon out in that field in the gully there. And I go, what the heck? I said, that's an odd spot for a moon to be. I didn't really pay much attention to it. And right as I'm looking at that, all of a sudden I feel the headlights, see and feel the car coming from behind me in headlights. And with that, I go to step over a little further. And as that, I lose my footing and I start sliding down this gully. And right as I start sliding down this gully, all of a sudden, I am transported 1.2 miles away to Stony Point Road, where the Washoe House restaurant is. Literally, that's quite a distance. It's like a 24-minute walk from where I went to slip down a gully to where I landed up. And so I was like, what the heck? And oddly enough, I was just bewildered, but it just kept walking. The strangest thing was, whatever transported me or moved me also gave me an extra wind, because if you remember right before I went down that gully, I was just exhausted. Then suddenly, when I wound up in front of the Washoe House, I had like a second wind, and I just started trucking on home, and I made it back home. But my point being is that harvest moon or whatever it was had something to do with me not falling down there. I seriously thought I was going to get seriously hurt by falling down that gully, and I don't ever remember hitting the bottom of it. All I remember is as I started slipping, boom, I was literally 1.2 miles away, walking in front of the parking lot of the Washoe House restaurant. And I just think that is so bizarre. So I've had guardians over me my whole existence. And even then, when I was being dissed by friends, I have these beings who stand up for me and help me get home. What do you think of that, Suzie?
Yeah, well, it's a good thing that your harvest moon orb came, and it sounds like to me you were being slipstreamed. In other words, they gave you an extra lift from one place to the other instantly, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, to me, I was, like I said, wiped out, and I didn't feel like I could go any further. So I didn't feel as though any time was missing. It just felt like it was instantaneous. That 1 minute I was there, and the next minute I was in front of this restaurant with more energy. So they not only moved me, but gave me more energy. That is a bizarre thing right there. And I just trucked home afterwards. I remember that. And I got home in no time at all because I had extra energy for some reason.
Yeah. My question to you would be, was it extra energy, or were you a little pumped up? Were you
Could
a little
be.
afraid? Maybe
That could be adrenaline pumping, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Adrenaline pumping. I know I was confused. I do remember being really confused how I got there. It's like, how did this happen? And, this is really probably, well, I have to be honest, one of my first experiences as a child, a 14-year-old boy, of, well, not really. I had one other one in my darkroom of missing time, so it's like my second experience of missing time. But I didn't even know time was missing, and I don't know how much time was missing. All I know is I went from one point to another point, and it was instantaneous. So there may not have been missing time. I didn't exactly have a clock with me or a watch, and I wasn't exactly timing myself. So it was just a very bizarre thing.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. It's pretty cool. You just go from one to the other in an instant. It'd be nice to be able to do that.
Boy, wouldn't it? It sure would change the whole dynamics
would.
of transportation on this planet, wouldn't it? Anyway, that was that episode, and thank you.
Thank you. You can find all of these stories and more in Michael Davis's book, Falling Sky. To order Falling Sky, simply Google Michael Davis Falling Sky and click the Amazon Kindle link. You can also visit Amazon and search Michael Davis Falling Sky.